And we are going to start lying down, but don't get too cozy, right? So your legs can be out long, the soles of the feet can be together with your knees open like a book. Soles of the feet can be flat on the mat and knees bent, right? But wherever you are, kind of settle in. Right, take a full breath in and a long breath out. Right, let the back side of your body sink into the mat. Let the shoulders soften and fall away from your ears. Unhinge your jaw. And notice breath in and breath out. Maybe your mind starts drifting to the business of the weekend or the day or the things that you want to accomplish. And that's normal, right? The brain is designed to always be thinking, so that's a normal thing. But can you bring it to the business at hand, which is the breath in and the breath out? Maybe you notice sensation in your body. Maybe you notice sound in your room or your house or outside, wherever you are. Maybe you hear the sounds in my house of a 10-year-old playing video games with his friends, right? All of these things can be anchors that bring you back into the moment when you drift into other business. Take a full breath in and a long breath out. Start to bring some movement into your hands and feet, like focusing on the business of waking up the body, right? So maybe you roll your ankles, you roll your wrists, maybe you stretch your arms overhead, okay, full body stretch. And part of the business of waking up the body and being in the moment is listening, right? Listening to the wisdom that is within. Right? From moving from that space. Hug the knees into the chest. Maybe you rock side to side, massage your low back. And then the next time you come back to center, your legs are going to go straight up into the air. You're going to flex your feet. You're going to press your low back into the mat. Right, the spine is long, so the hands can be down by your side, or if you want to put them under your back for a little bit of support, that's fine. Right, so keeping both legs lifted, feet flexed, you're going to take a breath in. And on the exhale, you're going to lower the right leg to a hover. And on the inhale, you're going to lift it back up. Exhale, you're going to lower the left leg to a hover. Keep pulling the belly button into a spine. Press through the left foot. Right. Inhale, the left leg's going to lift back up. Exhale, the right leg lifts to a hover. Inhale, it comes back up. Exhale, the left leg lowers to a hover. Inhale, it comes back up, right? You get this movement. So take a breath in. Exhale, the right leg lowers. Inhale, it comes back up. Exhale, the left leg lowers to a hover. Keep stretching through the sole of that foot. Inhale, it comes back up. This time on the exhale, both legs are going to lower to a hover. Right? You may be shaking, your belly may be quaking. It's fine. Press through the feet. Inhale, both legs come back up. Exhale, you lower them to a hover. Inhale, they come back up. One more. Exhale, you lower them to a hover. You're going to pause here. You're going to take a breath in and a breath out. And then your next inhale, they're going to come back up. You're going to hug them knees into the chest. That was the business of abs. Good morning. Right, summer is still coming, whether we're in a pause or not, right? Take a breath in, you're gonna rock front to back, and you're gonna make your way to tabletop, right? So here in tabletop, it is just that, right? You're on all fours, the spine is long, the crown of the head's reaching towards the front of the room, shoulders are stacked over the wrist, tops of the feet are flat on the mat. Spread the fingers wide, you're gonna take a breath in, you're gonna drop the belly, lift the heart, come into cow pose, and then on the exhale, you're gonna press down through your hands around the spine, come into cat. Good. Inhale, heart lifts, belly drops. Exhale, you round the spine, right? This continuing to wake up the body. The business of coming alive, of waking up to the moment. Inhale, heart lifts, belly drops. Exhale, you round the spine. Good. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, heart lifts, belly drops. Exhale, you round the spine. So you're in a neutral tabletop here, right? So the wrists are stacked over or underneath the shoulders. You're going to take a breath in. You're going to lift that right leg in the air behind you, and that left arm is going to reach out in front of you. You're going to take a breath in. On the exhale, you're going to hug everything in, knee to elbow. Inhale, you're going to lengthen it back out. Exhale, you're going to contract. Inhale, you lengthen. Exhale, you contract. Inhale, you lengthen. Exhale, you contract. One more. Inhale, you lengthen. Exhale, you hug everything in. On the inhale, you lengthen out. You're going to bring the right hand or the left hand down. That right leg is still lifted. You're going to swing it out to the side. Toes are going to touch down off the mat. You're going to lift the right hand up. Open up across the chest. Roll the top shoulder onto the back. Take a breath in. That right hand comes down. You swing the right leg back. Knee comes down. Right, so now you know we've got another side. So take a breath in, left leg lifts in the air behind you, right hand comes out in front of you. I got my hands and my feet and my rights and my lefts mixed up this morning. Take a breath in, exhale, you contract it in, right knee, left knee, right elbow. Inhale, you lengthen. Exhale, you hug it in. Inhale, you stretch it out. Exhale, you really hug everything and feel the belly muscles contract. Inhale, you stretch it out. Exhale, you hug it in. One more. Inhale, you lengthen out. All right, that right hand comes down to the mat. The left leg's going to swing out to the side. Toes touch down on the ground, and then that left hand lifts up, open up. Take a breath in. That left hand comes down. You swing the left leg around your back in a tabletop. You're going to sit the hips back, knees go wide to the mat. Drop into child's pose. Right, so the belly falls in between the thighs. We're just going to stay here for a breath or 2. Right, but know that this is a place when you need a break, you can come back to, when you need a pause, when you need to reset your mind, when you need to come back to the business at hand, whether that's being in the moment, whether that is resetting, whether that's the breath, right? This is always an option. You're going to walk the fingertips forward, tuck the toes, lift the hips, and come into downward facing dog. All right, so in downward facing dog, the hands are shoulder width apart. The fingers are spread wide. The hips are lifting up towards the ceiling. You're in an upside down V, if you will. Right, there can be a slight bend in your knee. Right, and you breathe in here, noticing what's showing up in the body. Waking up to the moment. Right? Maybe you pedal out your feet. You're going to take a breath in. You're going to glide forward to high plank. You're going to pause here in high plank. Right, so the shoulders are stacked over the wrists. The thigh bones are lifting up towards the ceiling. The belly is hugging in, right? That's going to give you the support. Take the sway out of the low back. Puff up the space between your shoulder blades. Beautiful. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right, so sometimes when we hear that taking care of business, we think that it's all work, right? So sometimes maybe the business is play, maybe it's creativity, maybe it's rest, right? But it's acknowledging what the business is and then dropping into that moment, right? Because those are the moments that fill us up. Take a breath in, glide forward, high plank. Right, and I think now, I know for me, when days seem to be the same, that taking those moments to take care of the business, the things that fill me up, are more important than ever. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath in, glide forward to high plank. Right, the crown of the head's reaching towards the front of the room. Really press down so much into the hands that the back side of that body gets light, right? Take a breath in, exhale, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, you're going to take a breath in and you're going to walk your feet to your hands, right? So this may be 5, 6 steps, or you may be able to do it in 1 step. It doesn't really matter. The point is that you get to the top of your mat. Right? Take a breath in. You're going to halfway lift. You're going to roll the shoulders onto the back. Arms reach out behind you. Exhale, you fold. Halfway lift on a breath in. Exhale, you empty out and fold. One more. Halfway lift on a breath in. Exhale, you fold. Inhale, you ground down. You rise to standing. Arms reach up overhead. Exhale, hands come together, you fold forward. Halfway lift on a breath in. Exhale, you plant your hands, you step back to that top of a push-up. You pause here and you take a breath in, and then on the exhale, you lower down. Heart lifts to cobra on an inhale. So it's really just the chest is lifting up. The hands are light, the shoulders are on the back. Exhale, you lower. Do 2 more. Inhale, you breathe into cobra. Use the core to lift yourself up. Exhale, you lower. Last one. Inhale, you lift. Exhale, you lower, and you push back to downward facing dog. Right. So that series of movements you can do or you cannot do. You can always just step back to downward facing dog. Right. It's the business of listening to your body, and it may change from time to time, right? Sometimes you may feel like moving through that. Other times you may feel like just skipping it all together. That's fine. Right. Take a breath in, you look forward, walk, step, jump your feet to your hands. Right. Halfway lift on a breath in. Exhale, you fold. Inhale, you rise to standing. Exhale, you fold. Breathe into a flat back. Exhale, you fold, you plant your hands, you step back to plank, you pause in plank. You take a full breath in, and on the exhale, you lower all the way down. So your body hits the mat at the same time. Heart lifts to cobra on a breath in, and then exhale, you make your way back to downward facing dog. You take a breath in downward facing dog. You look forward, feet to the hands. Halfway lift on a breath in. Exhale, you fold. Inhale, you ground down, you rise to standing. Exhale, you empty out and fold. Halfway lift on a breath in. Exhale, you plant your hands, you step back to plank. You pause in plank. And you take a full breath in. Exhale, you lower. Heart lifts on an inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. And your mind starts to wonder, like, how many times do we do this? Where are we going next, right? Can you just tap into the business of hand, which may simply be the breath in and the breath out. So here we are in downward facing dog. You're going to take a breath in. You're going to bring the soles of, you're going to step your feet together so that they're side by side, right? Keeping your hands in downward facing dog. You're going to roll your feet to the right side. And you're going to lift that left hand up. You're going to come back down. And then you're going to drop them over to the left. You're going to lift the right hand up. Right hand's going to come down. You're here in downward facing dog. You're going to bring the feet back to hip bone distance. You're going to take a breath in and a breath out. The right leg's going to lift on an inhale. On the exhale, you're going to bring the right knee to the right elbow. Inhale, you stretch it back. Exhale, right knee, left elbow. You cross it over the body. Hug the belly button in. Inhale, you stretch it back. Exhale, right foot steps in between the hands. You're in a low lunge. Right, so in the low lunge, the right knee is stacked over the right ankle. You're on the ball of the left foot. That left thigh bone's lifting up towards the ceiling. The spine is long. The crown of the head's reaching towards the front of the room. Right, you breathe in here. You breathe out. You take a breath in. That left foot's going to step up to meet the right. So you're at the top of the mat. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you fold. Left leg lifts in the air behind you. So you're in a standing split. And on the exhale, the left toes touch down. You're back in a low lunge. From here, the left hand stays down, that right hand comes up. You're gonna open up, low lunge twist, roll the right shoulder on top of the left. Open up across the heart. Take a breath in. The right hand comes down to the mat. You step back to plank. You pause in plank. You take a breath in. Exhale, you lower down. Heart lifts to cobra on an inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, the left leg lifts on an inhale. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Inhale, you stretch it back. Exhale, left knee, right elbow, cross it over the body. Inhale, you stretch it back. Exhale, left foot steps in between the hands, low lunge. Right, so that left knee is stacked. Keep bending that left knee, moving it towards the front of the room. Beautiful. Take a breath in. You ground down into the left foot. Right foot steps up to meet the left. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you fold. Right leg lifts in the air behind you. You're in a standing split. Fingertips are down on the mat. Take a breath in. Exhale, that right foot steps back. You're back in a low lunge. So your feet are in two separate lanes. You're on the ball of the right foot. Right hand stays down, left hand lifts up, low lunge twist to the left. Right, so on the inhale, the spine, you lengthen the spine, and on the exhale, you open up across the chest. Right? And part of the business of yoga, right, is dropping into the body. Take a breath in. Left hand comes down to the mat. You step back to plank. You pause in plank. You take a breath in. You move through vinyasa and make your way back to downward facing dog. So that vinyasa is the lowering down, the lifting the heart, and then making your way back to down dog, remembering that you can skip all of that and just go to downward facing dog. Right, so just keep adding on to this sequence, right? And practicing what is present, what's here, what's alive. Take a breath in, right leg lifts on an inhale. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Inhale, you stretch back. Exhale, right knee, left elbow. Inhale, you stretch it back. Exhale, you place the right foot in between the hands, low lunge. You take a breath in. Left foot steps up to meet the right. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you fold. Left leg lifts in the air behind you, standing splits. Exhale, you step it to the back of the mat. You're back in a low lunge. Left hand stays down, right hand lifts up, low lunge twist. Take a breath in. That right hand comes down on the inhale. You're going to lift up, high crescent lunge. So arms can be reaching up overhead to frame your ears, or you can bring your hands to heart center. You take a breath in. You're going to lean forward over the right thigh. So you're hovering. The left elbow is going to come to the outside of the right knee. You're going to twist open. So press the palms together. Move the palms as one towards your heart. Roll the right shoulder onto the back. Crown of the head's reaching towards the front of the room. Beautiful. Take a breath in. You come back up to high crescent lunge. Arms reach up overhead. Exhale, the hands come down to the mat. You move through vinyasa. Right, and you check in with yourself. Where was your mind? How are you talking to yourself? What is the business at hand for you, right? The business at hand for me is different than that for you. Take a breath in. Left leg lifts in the air behind you. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Inhale, you stretch it back. Exhale, left knee, right elbow. Inhale, you stretch back. Exhale, left foot in between the hands, low lunge. You take a breath in. Right foot steps up to meet the left. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you fold. Right leg lifts in the air behind you. Exhale, you step it back, low lunge. Right hand stays down, left hand comes up, low lunge twist. You breathe in, you breathe out. Exhale, left hand comes down. You lift the upper body up, high crescent lunge. You take a breath in, let the shoulders fall away from the ears. Unhinge your jaw. Soften that space between your eyebrows, right? That gets crinkly. Take a breath in. Hands come to heart center. You lean forward over the left thigh. On the exhale, the right elbow comes to the outside of the left knee. Open up. And keep bending into that left knee. And then the right heel likes to kick out towards the right side. Can you hug it into the center line, right? Use your core. Take a breath in. You come back to high crescent lunge. Arms reach up overhead. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. You move through vinyasa. Beautiful. Take a breath in. Right leg lifts on an inhale. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Inhale, you stretch it back. Exhale, right knee, left elbow. Inhale, you stretch it back. Exhale, right foot steps in between the hands, low lunge. From here, you take a breath in, that left foot steps up to meet the right. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you fold, left leg lifts on a breath in. Exhale, you step it back. Low lunge. Left hand stays down, right hand comes up. Low lunge twist. Take a breath in and a breath out. Your next inhale, you're going to rise to high crescent lunge. Exhale, hands come to heart center. And the breath in, you lean over the right thigh. Exhale, left elbow to the outside of the right knee. You twist open. All right, so if you think you know where we're going next, stay with me. So you're going to keep in the twist, right? You're going to ground down into the right foot. The left foot is going to step up to meet the right, and you land in twisted chair. So you're in chair pose, and that left elbow is still to the outside of the right knee. Right? Maybe you wobble. Maybe it wasn't what you thought it should look like, right? But that's the thing. Sometimes when we get into the business of what we think something should look like, we get in our own way. Right. Take a breath in and a breath out. Keeping that left elbow to the outside of that right knee. You're going to ground down into the right foot. You're going to lift that left foot up. You got it. You're going to step it back to that twisted crescent lunge. Take a breath in. Arms reach up overhead. Exhale, move through vinyasa or go back to downward facing dog. Take a breath in here and a breath out. Left leg lifts on a breath in. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Inhale, you stretch back. Exhale, left knee, right elbow. Inhale, you stretch back. Exhale, left foot steps in between the hands. You're in a low lunge. The right foot steps up to meet the left. Halfway lift on a breath in. Exhale, you fold. Right leg lifts on an inhale, standing splits. Exhale, you step to the back of the mat. You're in a low lunge here. Keep bending into that left knee. Right hand stays down, left hand comes up, low lunge twist. Take a breath in. You come up to high crescent lunge. Exhale, hands come to heart center. You lean forward over the left thigh on an inhale. Exhale, right knee to the outside, right elbow to the outside of the left knee. You twist open. Right, you can always drop that right knee to the mat if you need to, right? I know your legs get tired, but here's the thing, that what we practice gets stronger, and you are stronger than you think, right? So here you are in a twisted crescent lunge. You're going to ground down into the left foot. The right foot's going to step up. You're going to land in a twisted chair. Keep hugging the belly button in. Crown of the head's reaching towards the front of the room. You got it. Breathe. Breathe. Take a breath in. You ground down into the left foot. You're going to lift the right foot up. You're going to step it back. You're in a twisted crescent lunge here. Take a breath in. Arms reach up overhead. Exhale. Cartwheel the hands to the mat. Move through vinyasa. And you land in downward facing dog. You're going to take a breath in and a breath out. You're going to drop your knees to the mat. Come into child's pose. You're welcome. And you breathe here, right? And you tap in. Let the forehead rest on the mat. Right? And what is the business at hand in this moment? Right? Is it coming into stillness and quiet? Is it tuning into your breath? Is it checking in with the self-talk? Is it simply just noticing? Right, so the business at hand can change from moment to moment. And it's the awareness, it's the mindfulness, it's that practice that allows us to notice when it changes and then make choices accordingly. Take 3 full inhales and exhales. And when you have rounded that third, you make your way back to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, you're going to take a breath in and lift the right leg in the air behind you. Exhale, you step it in between your hands, low lunge. And on the inhale, you're going to rise to high crescent lunge. On the exhale, you're going to open up to warrior two. So in warrior two, you're going to spin the left foot down so the toes are pointing the left side of the mat. The right knee is stacked over the right ankle. You're sealing the outside edge of that left foot. You're bending deeply into the right knee so that the right thigh is parallel to the mat. Right hand is reaching forward, left hand's reaching back. You're gazing over the right fingertips. Right, and you breathe here. And you notice this is a new shape. So when there's a new shape or a new challenge or a new situation, right, the business at hand can change. So maybe for you, it's just smoothing out the breath. Right? Sometimes here I close my eyes to settle in. Right. So you're going to take a breath in. You're going to straighten the right leg and the arms are going to reach up overhead. Exhale, you're going to rebend the knee, arms reach back to warrior two. Inhale, you straighten the leg, arms reach up. Exhale, you rebend into warrior two. One more time. Inhale, you straighten the front leg, arms reach up. Exhale, warrior two. Flip the front palms, stretch back, peaceful warrior. And on the exhale, the right forearm is going to come to the right thigh. You're going to come into side angle. The left arm is going to reach up towards the ceiling. Right, so we've had a similar shape in the upper body. The legs have just been in different positions, right? So keep stacking that left shoulder on top of the right. Open up across the heart. Don't dump your body weight into the elbow. Let it hover, right? Your core has got you. And you breathe here and you notice, what's the business at hand now? Is it staying when you want to back out of it? Is it breathing? Is it telling yourself you're okay? Take a breath in, you come back to warrior two, you flip the front palm, you stretch it back, peaceful warrior. And on the exhale, you're going to cartwheel your hands to the mat. You're going to move through vinyasa. And you make your way back to downward facing dog. You take a breath in from downward facing dog. That left leg lifts in the air behind you. Exhale, you step it forward in between your hands. Inhale, you rise to high crescent lunge. Exhale, you open it up, warrior two. So you're facing the right side of your mat. The left knee is stacked over the left ankle. The left knee is moving towards the front of the room. The back leg is straight. You're pressing down into the outside edge of that right foot. Let your shoulders soften. You breathe here, smooth out the breath. You're going to take a breath in. You're going to straighten that front leg, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, you rebend the knee, arms come out to the side. Inhale, you straighten, arms reach up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, you straighten the front leg, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, warrior two. One more inhale. You straighten the leg, arms reach up. Beautiful. Exhale, you come back to warrior two. You flip that front palm, you stretch back, peaceful warrior. Keep bending into the left knee. Exhale, you come into side angle pose. Right, so the left forearm is on the left thigh, or if you want, that left hand can come down to the mat or a block. If you don't have a block, people have gotten all sorts of creative with props, right? So books, toilet paper rolls, paper towels, small dogs, small children. Right, that right hand's reaching up. Open up across the chest. Right, so part of the noticing and the taking care of the business at hand, you have to be open, right? You have to be open to what comes. You have to allow. The heart can't be closed, so don't let that top shoulder shade the heart. Beautiful. Take a breath in. You come back to warrior two. Keep bending into the front knee. You flip the front palm. You stretch it back. Peaceful warrior. You cartwheel your hands to the mat and you move through vinyasa. And here we go. You take the breath in and that right leg lifts in the air behind you. Exhale, you step it in between your hands, low lunge. You breathe into a high crescent lunge. Exhale, you open it up, warrior two, facing the left side of the room. You keep bending into the right knee. Settle in here. Take a breath in. You straighten the right leg. Arms reach up overhead. Exhale, warrior two. You're going to flip the front palm. You're going to stretch back, peaceful warrior. On the exhale, you're going to come into side angle pose. Right, so second time in this, it might feel a little bit different. It might feel a little bit more open. You breathe into it. And keep bending into that right knee. You take a breath in. You come back to warrior two. You're going to turn the right toes so that they're facing the left side of the mat. Right, so you're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold. Right, so your hands can, you can grab opposite elbows and come into ragdoll. Fingertips can stay on the mat. You can walk your hands underneath you towards the back side of the mat. Right, and you just pause here. Right, and you notice here, what's the business at hand here, right? Is it stillness and you want to move? Is it movement and you want to be still? Is there a conversation that your legs are tired? Right, you just notice. Take a breath in. Your fingertips are going to come underneath your shoulders. You're going to bend into the left knee. That right hand's going to lift up. Take a breath in. Exhale, that right hand comes down to the mat. And then the left hand's going to lift. You're going to bend into the right knee. You're going to take a breath in. Left hand comes down. You're going to spin the right toes so that they're facing the front of the mat. You're going to walk your hands around your back into a low lunge. From here, you're going to take a breath in. You're going to step to the top of a push-up so you're back in plank. You're going to take a breath in. Exhale, you lower halfway down. Inhale, you push back up. Exhale, you lower halfway down. Inhale, you push back up. Exhale, you lower halfway down. Inhale, you push back up. And on the exhale, you push back to downward facing dog. And you take a breath in. The left leg lifts in the air behind you. Exhale, you step it forward in between your hands, low lunge. Inhale, you breathe into high crescent lunge. Exhale, you open it up, warrior two. Facing the right side of the room. Keep bending into the left knee. You're going to take a breath in. You're going to straighten the left leg. Arms reach up overhead. Exhale, you come back to warrior two. You flip the front palm. Stretch back, peaceful warrior. Exhale, you come into side angle pose here. Right, and you pause here and you notice. Are you here or are you thinking about where we're going next? Like the business at hand is this pose. So come into this pose. You got it. You breathe. You take a breath in. You come back to warrior two. You flip that front palm. You stretch back, peaceful warrior. Feel the stretch on the left side, buddy. Exhale. You cartwheel your hands. No, you don't cartwheel your hands. You're going to spin the left toes towards the long side of the mat, and you're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold on this side. Right, so you're facing the right side of the mat. Legs are wide. You can do something different with your hands. You can reach behind them, clasp them, let the shoulders roll onto the back. I like to keep my elbows bent so that the palms of my hands touch. But don't overthink it, right? Sometimes we get taken out of the moment or the business at hand because we're overthinking it, right? So just move from that space of knowing in your body. It knows what it wants. It knows what it needs. Trust that. The thinking mind takes us out of that, right? The mind thinks that it knows better sometimes than the heart or the body. But there's incredible wisdom that we have within us. And so maybe the business at hand right now is just listening to that. Take a breath in, fingertips come down to the mat. You're going to spin the left toes so that they're facing the front of the mat. You're in a low lunge here. You step back to high plank. You pause here in high plank. Maybe you're wondering, are we going to do those push-ups again? You got it. Business at hand is push-ups. Take a breath in. Exhale, you lower halfway down. Inhale, you push back up. Exhale, you lower halfway down. Inhale, you push back up. Exhale, you lower halfway down. Inhale, you push back up, and then exhale, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, you take a breath in and a breath out. You're going to look forward. You're going to walk, step, or jump your feet to your hands. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you fold. Inhale, you rise to standing. Arms reach up overhead. Exhale, hands come to heart center. You pause here. You're going to ground down into the left foot. That right foot's going to lift up. You're going to come into tree pose, right? So on tree, the toes can stay down on the mat, or the sole of the right foot can come to the inside of the left thigh or the left calf. You want to keep it away from the knee. Right. And you breathe. Arms can reach up overhead. When you're ready, they can stay at heart center. You can close your eyes. You can reach your arms behind your back, right? There's all sorts of variations of tree. There is no right or wrong. The business at hand here is to breathe, and if you fall out, you come back in. Balance is a challenge. It's an opportunity to notice how we engage with ourselves when challenged. You let the shoulders soften the face. You breathe in, you breathe out. And take a breath in. That right foot comes down to the mat. Arms reach up overhead on an inhale. You grab the left wrist with the right hand. You lengthen on the breath in, and on the exhale, you lean over to the right side. Feel the stretch on the left side body. Right? Keep the weight evenly distributed in your feet. Take a breath in. You come back to center. You switch hands. Exhale, you lean over to the left. Beautiful. You come back to center on an inhale. Exhale, hands come to heart center. You ground down into the right leg. Left foot lifts. You come into tree pose on this side. Right? And knowing that there are two distinct sides to our body, and they behave and they feel differently, and the business at hand is going to be different, and that is okay. You know, I say that a lot, and it always reminds me that, so I spent the better part of my youth riding horses competitively, and my stirrups, my legs are like one shorter than the other. I wouldn't know that, but my stirrups were always uneven, right? So two sides of the body behave in very different ways. And as a child, I thought that was very funny and strange, and like there was something wrong. But as I've gotten to know my body in this practice, that's just what it is, right? It is. So you notice and you breathe. You notice my child in the background. It's very competitive, these video games. It's very intense for 10-year-olds. You take a breath in. Arms reach up overhead. Left foot comes down to the mat. This time, the arms are reaching on the exhale. That right hand drops down to your side. You ground down into your foot. You lean over to the right. Roll that left shoulder on top of the back. Beautiful. Take a breath in. You come back to center, and that left hand drops on the exhale. Open up. Feel the side stretch. Take a breath in. You come back to center. Exhale. You fold. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you plant your hands, you step back to plank, you pause here in plank. Exhale, you lower down. Heart lifts to cobra on an inhale, and on the exhale, you make your way back to downward facing dog. All right, from downward facing dog, you take a full breath in. Sigh it out through the mouth. You're gonna look forward, you're gonna walk your feet through your hands and come down to your back. Pause here, you hug the knees into the chest, you rock side to side. Right. Then both feet are gonna come down to the mat. You're gonna take the right knee, right ankle, and you're gonna cross it over the left thigh. So you're making the number 4. And so what I want you to do, if you know where we're going, I want you to stay with me, right? The business at hand is gonna be listening here, right? Both to me and to your body. You're going to take the right hand and you're going to place it on the right knee, and you're going to push the right knee away from you. All right, so the left foot is on the mat, the right ankle is crossed over the left thigh. Right, and you're going to notice here, what sensation do you feel in your hip? Is this enough? Do you stay, or do you need more? Okay, if you need more, you can lift that left foot, flex the feet. And if you still need more, you can take your hands and clasp them on the back side of that left thigh. If you're doing that, you're pulling that left knee in towards your face as you're pushing the right knee away from you. Okay. All right, so the business at hand here is noticing the sensation in your hip. Maybe you don't feel anything, and that's okay. Right? We store a lot of stuff in our hips, and so sometimes they're tight and cranky, right? But you breathe, and can you stay present? Can you stay in the body as things quiet down and stay out of the head and stay out of moving from a habitual place? Right, because that's the work, right? The noticing and the awareness so that we change patterns and movements and behaviors that need to be changed, and we have choices, right? But if we're always in this mode of what's next, what's next, what's next, we miss that. We miss that opportunity. Take a breath in. If your left foot is lifted, it's going to come down to the mat. You're going to uncross the right leg. Right foot comes to the mat. You're going to take the left ankle, cross it over the right thigh. Same thing on this side. You're going to take the left hand, push the left knee away from your face. You pause and you notice. If you need to, you lift the right leg. You clasp behind the right thigh. Interlace the fingers. Flex the feet. And you breathe here. You breathe in, you breathe out. That is the business at hand. Not what's next, not what you're doing after Shavasana. Here, this moment. Breath in, breath out. Noticing. That right foot comes down to the mat. Uncross the left ankle. Left foot comes down, so both feet are on the mat. You're going to take the feet wide to the edges of the mat, and you're going to drop the knees over to the right. So the spine is long on the mat. The shoulder blades stay on the mat. You can take the right ankle and put it on top of the left thigh if you would like. Inhale, you come back to center. Exhale, you drop the knees over to the left. You take a breath in. You come back to center. You hug the knees into the chest. You rock side to side. And then you're going to reach your hands in between your thighs and grab the outside edges of your feet and come into happy baby. So the soles of the feet are shining up towards the ceiling. The spine is long on the mat. The knees are moving towards the armpit. And here, maybe there's stillness, or maybe you move. You breathe, you notice, you stay here. You're gonna let go of the grip on your hands. I'm almost done. You're gonna hug the right knee into the chest. The left leg's gonna go out long. You're gonna take the left hand to the outside of the right knee. You're gonna cross it over the body. Right arm goes out to the side. Shoulder blades stay on the mat. You take a breath in, you come back to center, the right leg goes out long, the left knee comes in. You take the right hand to the outside of the left knee, you cross it over the body. You can look out over the left shoulder. You breathe in, you breathe out. You come back to center. Both legs go straight up in the air. Hands can be by your side. You can put them under your back. No, the business at hand is not abs, so don't panic. So feet can flex, they can point. All right, this final inversion. Taking the pressure off the feet. And take a breath in. The right foot's going to come down on the exhale. You breathe in, the left foot's going to come down. Your legs are going to go out long, heels into the high corners of the mat. Let your feet splay open. Arms can be by your side. Hands can be reaching up towards the ceiling, or the palms can be down on the mat if you need a little bit more grounding. Take a full breath in and a long breath out. Let the back side of your body sink into the mat. Let the shoulders soften. Unhinge the jaw. Maybe you close your eyes. Right, this final pose. The business at hand here is to rest. Rest the body, rest the mind, not to think about what's next in the day, to truly rest. And when your mind wanders, you bring it back. You soak up the practice. Shavasana. Start to bring some awareness back into your breath. And some movement into your fingers and toes. And keeping your eyes closed real gently to your right side and pause. And then when you're ready, help yourself up to seated at the top of your mat. Together, take a breath in, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, hands come to heart center and pause, thumbs rest on the heart space. Notice the breath, the heartbeat. Together, take a full breath in and a long breath out. The light and truth in me sees and honors that in each of you. Thank you for sharing part of your day with me. Hope you have a great day. Together we say, Namaste.